Maybe it was a family member or a close friend who played an instrument. Maybe a teacher or a performance that you saw one time when you were younger stayed with you for years. Maybe it was that track that you heard on Spotify or Apple Music. Maybe there's a violin in your house right now that belonged to someone else. Maybe your great grandfather or someone in the family owned this instrument and you've never played it, but you've been walking past it, or you know it exists, or it's in your awareness. Today, I want to talk about that pull, the one that comes from watching someone else do something beautiful or having something in your mind's eye or in your ear and thinking, oh, I want to experience that. So think, who have you had in your life? A family member, a friend, a musician, someone from your church, someone out in the community that you admire? Whose relationship with music made you want one of your own? Is there an instrument already in your world, left behind, passed down, or just sitting in a corner that used to be yours or is yours now that's been just waiting for you? And wouldn't you agree it would really mean something significant to be able to share music with that person or that instrument to honor the memory or to honor the desire you've already had by finally playing? And what if the reason you're drawn to this instrument was always pointing you toward a connection, and the playing is how you make that connection real? If we haven't met, I'm EP Archer, and I help committed adults over 30 who play the violin to create beautiful tone and unshakable confidence without compromising who they are or the music that they love. You know, my first awakening with composing my own music, creating my own ideas, songwriting, was triggered by other musicians that something happened within me. I couldn't explain it. You know, I'm a little violinist over here, but I'm in the swimming pool listening to Andrew Lloyd Webber musicals on blast, like the entire thing. And I'm writing poetry, and I'm sitting down at the piano, which I'm not as trained as I am on the violin, and I'm creating melodies. There was something living inside me and something that I grabbed from these other musicians that I looked up to that I wanted to experience, and not just for my violin playing, but within me, in my heart. I have several student stories, and one of my favorite is the parent that comes in wanting to play alongside their child. I have literally just had 2 people join up in the past month who are like, the first one was talking about how she always wanted her son to play violin, and it was maybe part of a leftover dream. She always wanted to play the violin and never did. And so then when she had kids, she was like, oh, I hope my son wants to play the violin. And they have a violin in the home, and she's just really hoping. And he didn't end up wanting to do it. He chose clarinet instead. And so she was like, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to play that violin. That's why I wanted him to play. And I thought that was such amazing recognition. And the other story is a dad whose kiddo is playing the violin, and he was just inspired. And he's like, I want to do that. I want to do that together. And this can be a family activity. They're both very driven individuals and not afraid of failure and just excited to take on and tackle challenges. And, you know, person in their late 40s is actually the perfect age, because when you go through something with that kind of life experiences and you've already faced challenges, probably that are way harder than the violin. Let's be honest. I mean, I can't, grief, loss, health challenges, financial challenges, these can all be survival inducing mechanisms. And although violin is super challenging, it's not going to activate that. And it's still going to give you that beautiful grit, that working through on something by being committed to it for an extended period of time, and that release and joy of step-by-step markers of achievement, step-by-step expressions that feel like you, and then that final goal, that piece you want to play, or that band you want to join, or that fiddle music that you just so love and want to play is waiting right on the other side. See, there is a connection, and it's been researched. When we have a connection motive and we have social bonding, music can be one of the most powerful human bonding mechanisms. I want to say that again. Music isn't just music, and doing it with others is not just a social activity. What it does is a powerful human bonding. It actually improves our relationships, and there's evolutionary psychology on this, research and data. When we play music with someone, for someone, in tandem, there's a neurological closeness that very few other activities can replicate. It's not in competition with, it's in harmony with, it's in inspiration, and it's in this tandem joining of something that lives in our heart space. Even though it is creative, it is mental, it is intellectual, it is holistic, it lives in our heart. One of my favorite collaborations to kind of show you how this works is the Goat Rodeo Sessions. If you haven't seen the Tiny Desk concert, check it out. If you haven't heard the album, the Grammy award-winning album, it's got Yo-Yo Ma, Stuart Duncan, Edgar Meyer, Chris Thile, mandolin, bass, violin, cello. It is really amazing. And none of these musicians could have made that album alone or with anyone else. That collaborative conversation, the joy, the intellect, the playing back and forth, and the bonding. I cannot tell you how many times I've listened to that album. And when we're inspired, we understand connection differently, and we move to different places inside ourselves that we couldn't reach before. So in this little mini series, we've been talking about different types of people that come to the violin and what that means. This one, the person who's inspired by others, I bet you're out there. And I honestly think that most people come to the violin with a little bit of this, whether it's a violinist they know or a family member or an instrument in your family. This can be one of the most motivating factors, and it can be one of your big whys, one of your things that leads your bigger dream and your bigger desire, not just that immediate goal in the moment. And it's that bigger connection with people and that bigger desire that helps you stay with something over time. So it doesn't matter which story brought you here. What matters is you are here, and that pull was strong enough to follow. The violin called you through someone else's playing, through a memory, through a dream you've been carrying, or that inkling that you wanted, that desire, and that call doesn't go away. The only question is, will you answer it? So here's how you can apply this in 5 minutes or less. Think of the person, the moment, the instrument, the situation that first called you to violin. Name them. Name it, and then ask yourself, what would it feel like to share music with that person, that instrument, in that situation, or to honor that memory? Let that feeling be your fuel, not technique, not your progress, not your goal, just the reason. And then pick up your instrument and play anything that feels like connection. It could be a simple note, part of a scale, a melody, something that reminds you, that feels reminiscent, and that connects you. And that's the whole point. Being called to music through someone else and through our connection in the human experience is a huge reason to play, and it's what will keep you playing. So let's shift from I want to play for someone to I am becoming the music with them. I am becoming this instrument that was given to me, the voice of it. It's speaking through me. So we've talked about 7 different adult music journeys. I'm wondering which ones of them resonate, which ones are yours. The next step is super simple. Find your people, find violin players, join our group, facebook.com/group/adult violin, and come and say hi. Let me know your story and your journey. And if you're ready to go deeper with real structure, real support, a community, and this deeper connection we are talking about today, there's a free 30-minute call to build your tone and confidence on the violin as soon as you join the group. I can't wait to see you there. Your best music is on the other side.